In the darkest nights, we find our light. Battered souls, but we won't lose sight. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, we stand tall. United forever. Strength and courage will overcome. Oh, surviving together, victorious, and never, never alone. Hand in hand, we'll face the unknown.
We see you, we hear you, and we believe you. Hey, everyone, how you doing today? It is Wednesday evening here, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome to Surviving Together, a safe space for trauma survivors to come together, connect, and build community on their healing journey, as well as providing trauma-related education for all. Today, I just wanted to check in with everybody. So I'm just going to ramble on for a little bit until we get a few more people in. We've got Indigo is with us though right now. Thank you for being here. We're Indigo and I are actually working on putting together a show together for next Wednesday. So that'll be September 3rd, a week from today. We're going to be speaking with Indigo about her journey from, kind of her beginning, her childhood to her discovery as coming out as a non-binary person. So I think that that's going to be really interesting discussion. I haven't had a chance to speak privately with Indigo about it yet, so we haven't kind of mapped out our outline. And Indigo, if I use she at all, you slap me, okay, and correct me, and I will definitely try to use they. It is more just habit than anything else. Not trying to be offensive, so that's why I'm trying to just use your name instead, because I do always forget to go by they, right? Let's see. Crystal's here. Hey, Crystal, how are you doing? I'm glad you're joining us. I just wanted to take this time because, we, over the last, I'm going to say, 4 to 6 weeks, you guys know my struggles, that I've been going through some things and they're finally coalescing a little bit for me. And I know that a lot of people out in our SASS community have been having a hard time and been going through things. So I wanted to take this time just to check in with everybody and, say, hey, let's do a temperature reading. If you've got anything in specific that you want to talk about, go ahead and throw it out in the chat. If you are just looking to soak up some love, that's wonderful too. If you're just here as offering support for the other people here, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. I will let you know real quick kind of what is going on for me. So I've done the editing on my book. I got the edits back and I looked at those. They weren't much. When I did a final read through, there were several places that I just felt needed some work. Like I knew it when I sent it, but it was as good as I could do at the time, right? So I've made some changes. I've taken out a few things. I've moved a few paragraphs around, and I- I'm much happier with the results. So Sharon Byrne, who you met on, uh, was it just this past Saturday? She is going to do a final read through for me tonight. And after I get off this live, I will look at that and then get it back to the publishing company, and then they'll do their final edits of just, spacing, grammar, that kind of thing, send that back to me, and I'll approve those final edits, and then it will be ready for publishing. So we're getting down to the wire. I can't believe it is just 2 months away from launch. I am going to be probably Sunday when I have some time. Is when I'm going to be booking my ticket, guys. I'm going to be booking my ticket to Vancouver. So I'm excited about it. I'm nervous about it. I did find out a little bit more about the panel, the speaking panel. So I won't be giving a speech like, by myself, but Peace Mitchell, who is one of the people at Women Changing the World, she is going to be conducting like a Q&A panel. So we'll be speaking kind of back and forth with that, and she will be addressing each of the chapters of the authors who are there. And I'm not sure out of the 20 of us, I don't know how many of us are going to be there. So it'll be interesting. But I do get a ticket to the summit, so I will be meeting a lot of other people. For whoever is there for the Americas Summit. So that's North, Central, and South America, and I'm really excited about it. I can't book my hotel yet because I don't have that information, but they said that that's coming here in September, and they will then also have whatever the block rate is for us. So I will know between now and whenever I find out, I'll between then and the time I go, how much more that I need to raise to cover a hotel, and then I've got to kind of figure in food and whatnot for the time that we're there. I don't really know what the itinerary is, or when we get breaks, or all that kind of stuff. That's still coming. So hopefully in a couple of weeks. But also to let all of you guys know, the Women Changing the World Americas Awards are going to be opening soon. So if there is anybody from North, Central, or South America who you want to nominate, it does need to be a female because it is Women Changing the World. And there are a lot of categories. You can go to wcwawards.com and look at all the different categories. So, everything from, medical to homesteading to, what I do, the journalism and media category, literature, trailblazing. There are tons of different categories. So if you think that there's anybody who you might want to nominate for any of those awards, you can do so. It's free. You just need to type in their information and then a little bit about why you feel that they deserve a nomination, and they'll be notified of the nomination. And then it's up to the nominated person to decide whether or not to throw their name in officially to be considered for the awards, to be considered as a finalist. But everyone who's nominated will, um, get the standard, Women Changing the World. Don't have it up, but let me, if I can find my cursor, it's on the other screen. That's what happens. So this little guy, everyone who's nominated will receive one of these templates that they can put their picture in, and it'll say nominee in it. And they can use that for promotion, and it's just a wonderful thing. We want to support women. So when I do get the notification that the link has been opened, and I think it'll be open until September 19th, I think is what I originally saw. Maybe longer than that, but as soon as I know about any of that, I will let you guys know so that you can nominate people. If there are people who you admire, who are doing things, who are changing their communities somehow, please, send their name in for, and but it is the Americas only. Um, the World Awards, I think, are going to be in the beginning of May in Paris next year. So nomination for that won't be for a while. I'm just changing projects from in my day job from one project to another. One finally got over, and I'm switching over to project I've worked on before. We've got a large set of data, so hopefully I'll be just flat out working. I don't know how long that's scheduled for to go to, but I'm kind of guessing maybe a couple of months. I think I'll probably be working on it until um, it's time to leave for Vancouver, but we'll see. Which reminds me, I need to get a good carry-on case. Like I've got a regular suitcase, but I know there are carry-on cases out there that you can actually kind of fit more in based on the way that they're structured. So I'm thinking about actually investing in something like that. If anybody has one that they absolutely love, please send me an email, survivingtogether, SASS@gmail.com. Love to hear what you guys have and if it works for you. I think that's about it. I think my son finally sold a second motorcycle yesterday. Yay. I haven't checked 100% to see. I did have a great night last night. David finally got here about 8 o'clock, and we just kind of ate dinner and chilled and talked and kept thinking that we think we're funnier than hell when we're together, and we're just, chilling out. And we kept going, God, we should have had that. We should have videotaped it. That would have been such a funny bit. And we could put them all together or something. And maybe stream them on Laugh Saturday. I'd probably send them to one of my friends first to go, hey, do you find this funny? Or we just think, we're just funny idiots together. We just think we're funny, which, that could be the case too. I don't know. But I think we've decided that next time he's here, which will be about a month, that we're definitely going to film, and maybe we'll have something worth sharing. And maybe you guys will enjoy it as well. So I think that's about it that's going on here. I was in court today, and I need to get with the guy who I fill in for. And I have a friend who's coming in town on Saturday. I'm looking forward to that. We're going to be going out to Cooper's Hawk, which is a great restaurant here. I guess it started in Chicago, but they opened a branch here for some reason. I don't know how many branches they have now, but it's phenomenal food. And it's a pretty laid back atmosphere, but it is top tier food. And it's a wine bar as well. So they've got like hundreds and hundreds of wines. So I'm looking forward to that. So that'll be a little bit of a treat. I haven't been out for a while. Indigo, Cooper's Hawk. Really? Indigo, I don't even know what state you're in. If you're comfortable sharing, I'd love to know what part of the country you're in. I mean, I'm sure I'll talk to you privately, but I am, I know that you're, I think, in Central. You are in Illinois. Oh, that's why you know. Oh my gosh. I wonder how far you actually are from me. You're in Chicago. Well, depending on where you are in Chicago, you're anywhere between 2.5 to 3 hours from me, Indigo. Let me know if you ever travel up to Michigan. Or, I mean, if I get down to Chicago, I'll certainly reach out. But oh my gosh, because I don't know if you remember, we had Chris Malazewski on. He was the mass shooting survivor from the Highland Park incident, July 4th of 2022, because he lives in Chicago too. I just talked to him the other day. He got another tattoo. I'm going to be speaking to him hopefully sometime this week or next week about trying to get into the speaking engagements. He's super, super busy, Indigo. I have to bug him like 50 times before he finally, gets back to me. Best way is to connect with him through LinkedIn. So connect with him through LinkedIn. Walking Tall is his organization. So you can send him a direct message through Walking Tall, or Chris Malazewski is his um, name, and he has his own LinkedIn, which he posts under both. So yeah, that's going to be the best way to get a hold of him. And if you don't hear from him, a couple weeks go by, send another message, because like I said, he is super, super, super busy, just nuts. I'm just trying to get 30 minutes with him, and he knows me, and it's been difficult. So you just got to keep at it with him. Hey, Co-Train, how you doing? Glad to see you tonight. I did see a comment. Let me go find my cursor again. Did see a comment from Crystal, who said that she's not doing well and learning more about fibromyalgia. Not happy about it. I can only imagine. Um, Having trouble standing for any length of time. Oh, you found out your stepbrother passed away the day before. I am so sorry. Well, for everything that you're going through, Crystal, let's send out hugs and love to her. Anyone who is in the chat here, if we can just send out hugs, loves, prayers, whatever your equivalent is, please let's show her some love. And I know that there are other individuals. We've got a small group here tonight, but I know that there are other individuals in this community who have fibromyalgia, and connecting up with them would probably be good. And if you remind me in one of our other chats where we've got a bunch of people, I can kind of throw that out again as well to help connect you up. Indigo saying, hey, if you want to chat, ping her. So, um, she's offering right there. I don't have a lot to offer on fibromyalgia. I had a friend who had an ex-friend who had it, so I don't really have a contact there. So I just know that yeah, the initial phase of once you finally get the diagnosis, and figuring out what to do and how to handle it, and things that might work with it, can be incredibly difficult. Um, I know you're working with your therapist. One of the things that I have learned through this, the trauma that lives in our body, fibromyalgia is one of the things, as a chronic pain condition, that they think can stem from that. So as you continue to heal and you continue to work through your issues, um, I don't know if you have tried any of the stress relaxation techniques. And by that, I mean the body techniques. Um, there's there's one where you hold your um, you lie on your back basically, and you hold your knees up kind of in a V, and the goal is to hold it as long as you can, and eventually they will start shaking, but that shaking will subside, and that shaking is actually helping to release stress in the muscles. uh, and wow, it's effective. It's effective. I did one video on it, and I can't remember which one it is, but if you're interested in knowing more about that, I'm not sure if those types of exercises are something that you feel comfortable with. But if you do, email me, and I will try to link you up with the specific videos, that because I've seen some people, doing it on YouTube, and they're really yoga instructors who have like kind of found out about it, but they're not doing it properly. So there are actual ones where they're medical doctors, where it actually was discovered, or the therapy was created, where I think are better videos to follow. Cotrine says his mother has fibromyalgia. It is. It's a lifelong condition, and from my understanding, it also varies a lot from person to person in terms of where your pain is, what acerbates it, what helps it. Um, you know, it can just be a lot. So I'm glad that you've been chatting with people in our community, Crystal. I'm glad that you've connected up with that. It does seem to be a very common thing, and you know, if I find more people with fibromyalgia, maybe that's something that we could cover here and have a bunch of people on panel talking about. Um, Not all fibromyalgia is from trauma, but a lot of people do get it as a result of particularly childhood trauma, where it's lived in your body for so long that these chronic pain conditions can result. You've been off this week because not feeling well. Oh, well, sending you giant mental hugs. I can only imagine how frustrating it is, but my hope is that you'll be able to get a handle on this and still be able to move through your life and not have such a significant impact on your daily life as it is right now. Coltrane, I've had arthritis for years, but not much I can do about it since I work in construction. Just smoke a ton of pot to help me sleep at night. Hey, whatever helps you. I know that for me, taking glucosamine has really, really helped with my joints and with my arthritis issues. It did take a while, a number of weeks for it to take effect, but I notice it now because my knees, I'm older and my knees will act up now on me if I don't take it consistently. So I don't know if you've ever tried glucosamine or glucosamine chondroitin combined, but it certainly has helped me. If I don't take it, my knees will tell me. I mean, they're not horrible. I'm not Todd Father. I'm not in for a knee replacement or anything anytime soon. But it's just something that happens to us. Our cartilage breaks down over the years, right? And especially my years in Taekwondo, just I was hard on my body. Let's be honest. I was really hard on my body, especially in my 30s. Um, so I'm not surprised that my knee cartilage has broken down, and my shoulder. I had surgery on this shoulder, found out I had a bone spur. They didn't find that out. So they actually went in. They thought they were going to have to replace do work to my rotator cuff until they got in there and figured out the problem. Now my right shoulder's been giving me issues, so I don't know if it's the same pain. I don't know if it's a bone spur or not. I haven't had a cortisone shot in a long time though, so I'm due for one, and I could have one, and you know probably I might get another year or whatever, but probably in the next 5 years I'm looking at they might have to go in and work on the shoulder again. But it was laparoscopic. It was so easy. I mean, you're moving you're back to moving your arm the same day, and the full rehab was a few weeks, so it wasn't too bad. But I gotta imagine construction. I know, Cotrane, you've been doing construction your whole life, I think. Stretching regularly helps with you. Cotrane, yeah, I do a lot of stretching as well. Oh, sounds like you're taking all the right things, Crystal. Glucosamine, chondroitin, omega-3, turmeric. I actually have the turmeric is actually in my glucosamine chondroitin pill. So I should check on the level though. I don't know if I need, because turmeric is really good for you. It's really good for your body. It's good for your gut, mm, and can be good for inflammation as well. So, Coach, and I don't know if you've ever considered glucosamine chondroitin, but I they're all horse pills. I think they do make a gummy. I think maybe I did see a glucosamine chondroitin gummy, but you'd have to study. I don't know what I don't know if they're as effective as the pills. That's all I um can say on that. Hey Misha, how are you doing? This is just a check-in. We're just seeing how everyone's doing, what's going on with anybody. Anyone's got something they need to get off their chest, or if you got an issue you're working through. We've been talking to Crystal about her health and how frustrating that is, and I can only imagine and just know that we're here, and I'm so glad the community has been supportive and you've found people to reach out in regards to that. If you have anything great that's happening, any milestones that you want to talk about. You tried that 20 years ago and it didn't help. Well, I would say it might be time to try again because science has just moved forward. And I don't know if the dosages are any different now, but your body's also different. Your body's changed. And so it may or may not work for you. But after 20 years, I would say it might be time to try it again and give it a whirl. Like I said, I take capsules. They're glucosamine chondroitin with turmeric, and that has definitely been helping. And I just order them off from Amazon, but yeah, you can get them in any of the stores. Indigo diving into job applications might be moving if things pan out. Well, that's exciting. Where might you be moving to, pray tell? Is it still going to be in the country, different state, same state? Hi, Tiff. How are you doing? Long time no see. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. I don't know what type of job applications, Indigo. I'm not sure. I know you're technically savvy, so I don't know if that's your area, but I know you do a lot of advocacy. I think you do advocacy work too, or at least I know you're involved with a lot of people. So maybe Colorado. Oh, hey. I know a lot of people in Colorado and they absolutely love it. It's a beautiful place, especially if you like to be outdoors. Customer service and case management. Perfect. Yeah. Well, and that's something that you can do from home. It's things that you could be in an office as well. So best of luck to you. Definitely sending good vibes your way and some good juju. And we'll pray for the best for you with that. Cross our fingers for you. Coltrane, you took turmeric capsules for 6 to 8 months and didn't see any difference. Yeah, I don't know if turmeric alone, if you would notice any difference, but I have it. I'm trying to cook with it more actually. And I don't have a lot of recipes right now that I'm doing it, but if I just do like a basic chicken or something, I'm trying to do because I do like 8 breasts at a time so that my son has meals throughout the week that he can do. And I do kind of see different seasonings on each one. So I'm trying to use more turmeric, but I do know it's good for your gut. And this cocktail that I put together in the morning, I will admit I did it for a week and then I kind of got off of it because I didn't have the garlic and the ginger fresh cut up anymore. But lemon juice, apple cider vinegar, turmeric, cayenne pepper, because peppers are good for your gut health too, and fresh ginger and fresh garlic with about 8 ounces of water, and I pretend like I'm taking aspirin or something, it's just it's just let it go all down, and I'll tell you, I do feel better when I'm taking it. It does something to my gut health, and I just overall feel better. And I did it for a week, and then I got off of it again, and now I need to get back on it. So, all right, you guys have given me something that's I'm gonna start it up again tomorrow, and that'll be almost so by last Saturday will be like 10 days. So I'll let you know on last Saturday how I'm doing if I remember. You guys have to remind me as well. We'll see how that's been going. But it does make a difference. It just does make a difference. Oh, that's fabulous. Misha has good news. Air conditioning again, and the truck is almost ready to drive. That is awesome. Yeah, I mean, we celebrate all the things. You can go back and watch the beginning here, and I was just kind of running through the litany of things that were going in my life, and some are challenging and others are good. We still don't have air conditioning, but it's been cooler. I know in September we always get like a warm up. We've been having Indian summer the past 3 or 4 years running. So I know we're going to have another a week or so here where we'll be back in the 90s or at least like upper 80s. But we survived the summer without it. So getting to Vancouver and getting the book done and that whole class was kind of my this year thing. So between now and late spring, or we'll say between December and late spring, my job will be putting aside money for an air conditioner because I think my son will definitely be moving out if I don't have air conditioning next year. But he said he was taking care of the fix, like he had somebody or whatever, and so I just left it in his hands, and he never, I guess, ended up connecting with that person. So, he must not have been too bothered by it. And he is in the basement, and that does stay cooler than the third floor where I am. My office is just like when we don't have air. But Tiff said you got to open the windows today. Yeah, we definitely we had like 50 degrees, I think, overnight. It's only been like upper 70s, around 80 here as a top out. But it's been really cool at night, between 50 and 55. So definitely been good sleeping weather. Hi, Nancy. How are you? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to the SASS community. I don't recognize your name, so I'm glad you are here. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I know you had a lot of balls that you were juggling for quite a while, Misha. So not quite so many things going on that are pulling your brain in all kinds of different directions. And so now you're just working on getting your PC running. That's fabulous. I'm still working on getting my camera to work. Apparently, there is a problem that has been discovered between the model that I have and Windows 11. Everything that I have pulled up on it thus far has not helped me fix the issue. It's still telling me that it thinks that its best guess is it goes, this application is probably being the camera's being used by another application, and it's like Zoom slash Skype, etc. I have looked at everything running in the background. I've looked at everything else. I do not see anything running the camera. So I really don't think, unless I am missing something totally. I mean, I've checked the privacy settings, I've gone into the camera itself. I've uninstalled it, I've reinstalled the driver, I turned it off, I've turned it back on with the camera in, and nothing seems to work. So I'm gonna give it one more go when I can nail my son down, maybe on Sunday. He's been real busy and he was out of town last week because this was originally his camera for his computer. So I'm gonna see if maybe he can help me. And if he can't, then I'm probably gonna invest in a new camera. And they're, I think, maybe $50 or so. And I'm pretty sure that I can spare that from the Surviving Together fund. So we'll definitely have something up and running. I'm hoping by last Saturday is my goal, that I either have a new camera or I've been able to make Windows 11 talk to my camera that I have. We'll see. Bindu, thank you for dropping by. I dropped by yours real quick. I had to get going because I was having to get all of this set up for this live, but I hope you are doing well. Thank you for stopping by. Tiff says that she's moving, looking forward to a new house. My mother-in-law needs to move too, so I'm looking for something huge. That is exciting. Looking for a new house. Are you moving within the same city or looking to move outside of wherever you are? That is always fun, being able to get a new place, and especially if you're looking at something larger. And mother-in-law, you either can get like a mother-in-law studio where she can have her own room and even like a small kitchenette in the basement. Sometimes you'll find those, they call mother-in-law apartments, or just uh, a nice house where you guys can still all have your own areas. I know how important that is. Hey Rick, how are you? Glad you dropped by. Thank you. Welcome you in tonight. Crystal, I looked at your comment. I just wanted to cover the other one soon. Soon. Mac's biggest issue is Windows 11 laughing. Well, that's my biggest computer issue. Okay. My biggest computer issue. Windows 11 and my camera are not talking. It was working fine on Windows 10, and for some reason it does not like my new laptop. It it was not work. I know you guys will look and say, but you were using your new laptop and it looked like you were using your camera. And I don't know how, but I was able to have it plugged in and at least mirror my camera, mirror this over. Believe me, I have no idea, but that's that the computer updated and then that stopped working too. So the camera itself never worked in terms of actually getting a preview with the camera, but I somehow jerry-rigged it. But that when the latest update went, and I don't even know what the latest update on the computer was. It was just, restart your computer with the updates type of thing. So I don't know what happened with it and why it's doing that. It's the weirdest thing. But I wanted to get up here. So Crystal had a question. I only met my stepbrother once, yet his passing has hit me harder than I thought it would. Does it make any sense? How do you deal with it? It makes perfect sense. Um, there can be people in your life that you're not particularly close to, and their death does hit you extremely hard. Maybe it is what they represented. If this person was a person of peace who was outside of your abuse situation, losing that person can be kind of losing a tether to the normal. um, the best advice that I have is allow yourself to grieve. allow yourself to feel all the feelings. It may help to read up on the grief process a little bit, just to reacquaint yourself with what to expect. There's the 5 stages of grieving, but they're not linear. We don't always go through them in order, and just like any healing, we sometimes scoot back to other ones and leap forward over some, but it is important that we experience all the feelings, so don't deny yourself those. Give yourself grace, give yourself time to look at this, and maybe you'll figure out, why is this particular loss hitting me? What did it represent? Or what is it triggering in my emotions that seems to, that resonates with this loss? And allow yourself to work through those feelings. It's really important that we don't suppress our grief, but that we honor it and allow ourselves to move through it. And that's really the only way, that in time and coming to an understanding, and a final acceptance with the loss, that you're going to be able to move beyond it. As Misha said, I wanted to get Misha's comment up here. And she said, the loss of what we didn't have sometimes can be very hard as well. She sees you and she's praying for you. Thank you, Misha. Thank you. Nancy said, "Oh, you met me through Echo earlier this week. Yesterday, right? Yes. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. This is maybe kind of a perfect live for you to be in. We're just checking in with everybody. I don't do these too terribly often. I mean, I check in with everybody in the chat, but I don't usually have an entire live where that's all we're talking about. But I know that a lot of people have been going through some things, so I thought I'd take a temperature gauge and see how everyone was doing and connect up people if we could. And it seems to be going okay. We're sending hugs and love out to Crystal, who's had a loss of a family member and is also dealing with some medical issues. So we're sending light and prayers and love her way. Tiff's got got a move on the way, looking for a new house, and Indigo's looking at jobs. Oh, Patty, how are you? My fundraisers have made enough now for I have one more month of book fees in September that I'll be paying. That'll be my last. And then I am, hopefully on Sunday, be I'm booking my trip for Vancouver. And then it's just the hotel fees, so lodging and food, that I'll need to raise in a couple. I'll have, what, 2 months? But I'm not finding out the cost of the hotel until sometime in September. So I got a message from Peace the other day, said that they are working on securing the location and getting the bulk um, room rate, so that I'll know exactly how much I think it's 4 nights that I need. And I can do with food. I can cover that. So I'd just be looking at covering the hotel. So that's it. You guys have all been amazing in terms of financial support, in terms of uh, sharing out the GoFundMe link, and just the emotional support that I've gotten from all of you for doing the book, and my just deep desire to want to be there for the book launch. I can't thank you guys enough. Because of the person she lost, I didn't even talk to him the time we met. We were introduced, and that was it. Met him at my dad and mom's wedding. Haven't had a contact since then. And that's okay. It's not abnormal that you're still feeling the loss and even feeling it on a significant degree. Uh, it sounds like, he was somebody who was outside of all of your other trauma, and maybe it's a person who you could have connected up with at some other time, or you're wondering what might have been if you had connected with this person more. Whatever you're feeling in regards to that, just allow yourself to sit with your feelings. And I encourage you, you can, talk to people about your feelings, and definitely talk to your therapist. If you journal, write down your feelings, write down anything, thoughts that come through to you. And you can kind of look at this and see, why is this particular loss hitting me so hard, of somebody who I say I barely knew, right? But bottom line, there's still a family member, and that connection alone can be, and a family member outside of your trauma situation. I can see why that might hit you pretty hard. Rick, unfortunately, it's been more than 24 hours, but I do hear what you're saying. I do think there is a method that I can reset it before the last update. And I'm tempted, but the core issue is it never worked like it should with Windows 11 even before then. So I think I'm going to give it like one more day, because with me, I have to read everybody's tips, right? I don't have all that knowledge in my head. So I'm gonna rope my son in, and I'm gonna go through another day. And if I can't do it, then I'm just giving it back to him because he's got the old computer. Say, here, I don't know if you still need it, but it was yours to begin with, and I'll just get another one. I know that I can probably get one for less than $50 on Amazon. Nancy says that she needs prayers for both her aunts, JoJo's, both of her aunts. I don't know if you do. Oh, both of your aunts. JoJo had 1.5 liters of fluid taken off her heart and lungs, and my aunt Dee Dee is going into long-term care. Uh, Needs to keep all of her life insurance. Well, sending you hugs and love and prayers and light for both of your aunts and for you going through this right now, because I know that that certainly can't be easy. Hopefully, your one aunt, her medical issue can get resolved favorably, and then that won't be an issue anymore. And yeah, long-term care, it's something my parents and I have talked about, because they're getting older. They're in their upper my mom's 75, my dad's 78. I gotta do the math. 79? Shit. 79 is gonna be 80 next year. Oh my gosh. Wow. It just brings full force kind of the fragility of life. You never know how long you're gonna have people. And so if you do have people in your life who you care about, make sure you're reaching out to them, and make sure you're letting them know that you care, even if you can't be with them physically. uh, Let them know that you're thinking of them. I think sometimes we, especially family, take for granted that they're just there, and we don't make enough of an effort. And my parents don't live that far away, and I know that I need to make a more concerted effort to see them more, because there's going to come a day in the next 5 to 10 years where they're not going to be there anymore. And so I need to take all the time that I can to have them now. We have family dinner tomorrow night, so I'll get to see both of them tomorrow night, so I'm excited about that, and we're gonna continue to have our weekly meets, but outside of our weekly dinners, I need to stop by there more. Um, Daily life does seem to just take over, right? Yeah, I mean, work and the channel and the book, and you're just kinda dealing with yourself, and I know they're there, and I need to not take that for granted because 'cause they're not going to be there one day. So, hi, Aria, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Rick, I think I mentioned your comment, but I wanted to say hi. I'm not sure if I had actually said hi to you. So, Misha said she's been procrastinating switching to Linux for a while. October would probably be your go-to movement. Got it. Yeah, when I was looking at getting the laptop, I considered possibly switching over to Mac, but I have been an Android person, not even, having an iPhone. So I've worked on Macs before, but everything is like exactly opposite of what I do. And for my work, I had to have a non-Mac, and a regular laptop. It just with the forms that the documents come in, I do a lot with Word and um, the platforms. I mean, I'm sure I could download most of the platforms, but yeah, they use Microsoft Outlook, and so it just didn't work for me. So I was thinking about switching. I know Linux is an Apple. But you switching just kind of brought that up to me. Factory reset. I've been tempted for that as well, Rick. I have been tempted. I have I took all the junk off of it though when it first came, and then I've got everything since that I've had to download, like Amazon Workspaces, one of the companies that I work with. Everything that we do, we have to do in Amazon Workspaces, and just all of the other functions, all the other apps. I've finally gotten downloaded, and I think it was set up okay, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go through that again. But if I have to, I have to. But I'm gonna read up more because there's definitely some people were saying some things about how to make this camera work with Windows 11 that they're not out of my scope, but I need to like put them on one screen and get the instructions on one screen and try and do it on the other because it was definitely steps that I would really need to follow. It's not intuitive for me. So I'll see what happens with that. Ari says, Misha, procrastination is what we do best. Don't we? Trauma survivors are excellent procrastinators. I think I don't know if you want to call it a superpower, but we certainly have it in super amounts. I don't know if I've met a trauma survivor who's not a procrastinator. Not to say that you have to have trauma in order to be a procrastinator, but a lot of us are wonderful procrastinators. Rick says procrastination, my best hobby. Absolutely. You know, there's a there's there's a reason why my I made changes to my book, and it is because I had the framework set up and I had the whole first part, but was procrastinating on the second and third. The information just wasn't formulating, it wasn't coming to me, and so I got it out at the last possible moment, and there wasn't enough time to set it aside again and come back to it. So that's why I ended up making the changes that I did with it. I hope what I did makes it a little more uplifting. I think what I needed to do with it is, to make my you guys would all read it, I think, the way it was, and you would get the message, and it would be uplifting to you, and it would be meaningful to you. And I think to everybody out there who knows something about trauma, when they would read through it, I think that they would get that message. But there's going to be people who don't have trauma or don't recognize what they've been through as trauma. And I wanted to make my message a little clearer in terms of this is the paragraph and I'm talking about these things. What is my message that I'm trying, state it plainly. And I think that what I've done has solved that, or at least made that more apparent. I feel a little more comfortable with putting it in a book for an audience that may or may not be trauma survivors who are reading this, and that somebody who is not a trauma survivor, that there's going to be nuggets that they can take out of it still, even as somebody who might potentially support a survivor in their life. So I've got, information that's plainly stated there that they can draw from. But it's procrastination that sent me into it. Misha said, been taking extra time to hug the fur babies and listening to hubby lately. More calls to the girls, stay in the moment before it becomes too late again. Absolutely, 100%. And you know, you've definitely got the personal experience for that, for knowing you never know when it's taken away from us. And I'll tell you just a little funny, just because you mentioned the fur babies. David and I were on our porch that's where we hang out and chat whenever he's here. And Moki came out and he was just talking up a storm. He was, and David was talking back with him like I do. And I've never heard anybody else besides my son who he's talked with. There's actually very few people he would actually go up to. Moki is more standoffish than Tigger is. He's talking to him, and I was kind of in awe. I'm like, wow, he doesn't interact with anybody else like that except for, my son and I. David looks at me, total deadpan, and he's just like, I live with 9 cats. So he's got a rapport with cats. Hey, Janet, how are you? Listening and driving. Yes, Janet is driving across Western Canada as we speak. So she is on the road. Let's send her some hugs and love and safe driving. Aria is doing well, just a little exhausted. Well, I hope you can get some rest sometime soon and get a good night's sleep. Hey, Clint, how are you? Gen X Effects is in the house. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Misha says that Aria something tells me you'll be exhausted for at least another 18 years. Yes. Aria has little ones, I think, as long as I'm remembering correctly. And uh, kids, they're draining, aren't they? They're draining. They can be the love of our lives, but they are emotionally, physically, and soulful draining at times. But please, 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 and we were just talking about this the other day, and we were talking about it on Echoes last night, how important it is, no matter what you have going on in your life, that you try and take at least a little bit of time for self-care for yourself, even if that's only 5 or 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes where it's yours, whether that's first off after all the kids are down before you need to, jump into doing the dishes in the kitchen or whatever. Carve out just a little bit of time that is only yours for you to do something for you, whether it's a walk or meditate or, take a quick shower, something that is just for you. So please, guys, each and every one of you, I want you to do that. And that will be my go-to for you guys. So everyone, if you haven't hit the like button now, please do so before you leave. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell all for notifications. It automatically goes to personalized. So if you don't hit all, you won't necessarily get the notifications for the shows. Um, but my challenge to you, or my request for you, is to comment after the show. If you're watching on replay, comment as soon as we're done, and let me know what's your go-to for self-care. What do you like to do? If you're going to take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, what's the one thing that generally makes you feel better? Is it going for a walk? Is it taking a bubble bath? Is it just reading, just having some quiet time? What's your go-to? And it could be your go-to in general or your go-to right now, whatever it is. I want to hear from you guys. What's your preferred method of self-care? So that's what I need you guys to put in the comments here after the show. Oh, Rick, your computer crashed. Yikes. Well, it sounds like you kind of have a little bit better of a handle on it than I do in terms of what's going on with mine. But since you're possibly going to be trying to salvage it, best of luck with that. My heart goes out to you. Look forward to reading the book. It's going to be a phenomenal book, and I can only say that because I have met the other authors who are going to be a part of it, and each and every one of it, I know I've said this a million times, but each and every one of them have a fabulous story. They're all incredibly competent women who have done some remarkable things with their lives, whether it's given their circumstances of where they started from, whether it is the fact that, life threw them a twist and they had to reinvent themselves. They've all done it successfully. And not all of them started from a bad place. Some of them have just had some self-discovery, kind of what am I meant to do? What fulfills me? And have changed gears, kind of mid-stride and gone in a totally different direction and have been incredibly successful. So I think that you will find something in each of these stories that will inspire you, will kind of give you that good feeling that possibilities are still out there and we can make something of ourselves or make ourselves into what we want, reach for our dreams. It takes a lot of work. Sometimes it takes a lot of luck, but it's possible. And once I actually get my books, I do have some of them earmarked for people already. Krumel basically purchased one through his donation, and I've got to put one out to my parents, and I've got a few other people who I have some copies earmarked for, but I am going to have a set of books that I'm going to be doing like a raffling off or whatever. So I'm going to do a giveaway, but I just don't know when I'm going to be having them. I might not get them until after the launch in November. But we'll have a giveaway then. I think I can probably give away at least 10 copies. I forget how many total I'm going to have. Misha says, as a friend Keela says, and she's over with Mental Health Matters, if you don't know her channel, we can do hard things. Absolutely. The name of the new book, it's called Begin It Now. and it is launching on November 7th. So it won't be available until then. But after that, it will be available on Amazon. And like I said, I will definitely be doing some giveaways. I am getting a set of hard copies. So if you wait until then, you uh, might be able to score one free through here. But yeah, it's called Begin It Now. And I will let you all know that my chapter is called Who I Was Meant to Be. So, Rick says I talked Chat GTP into promoting my Man Moon Mars mystery book on Amazon. I stumped the computer or impressed it. I gotta say, what version of chat are you using? Because my son started using Chat GPT-5 and says it's absolutely amazing. But I'll tell you, I've used it for researching some of the shows that I've had in the last month or yeah, about the last month. And there are some questions I'll ask it, and it comes back with absolutely nothing, just the thumbs up or the thumbs down. And I'm like, well, thumbs down because you gave me no answer. I mean, nothing. Where I can go back to four and it at least answers it. So uh, I don't know. I don't know. It's I'm frustrated because at least for whatever my son uses it for, he thinks it's fabulous. And I was reading on it and reading of the differences between four and five, and it should be so much better. And it should be giving me the information that I'm requesting of it. There's no reason for it not to. There's no reason for four to be able to answer the question and not have five. So I don't know. I'm kind of frustrated with it. Maybe it just doesn't like me. Irritated with it. But so because of this, let's shout out Rick's new book if you're interested, Man, Moon, Mars Mystery. I don't know, Rick, you'll have to let us know what kind of book is it? Is it just fiction? Fiction, science fiction, conspiracy theory as to whether we actually landed on the moon? You'll have to let us know what kind of book it is. Mason, my chapter was the last one in the third book of the trilogy. You need to see how it's doing. I don't know the name of your book. The anthology I know you were part of an anthology, right? But I don't know the name of the book. Tip from Misha, always give ChatGPT feedback because it works on it works on attaboys. Also, I can't even talk tonight. A few key phrases to use. Utmost importance, double check your work. I just am stumped when it comes back with nothing. It comes back with thumbs up or thumbs. It goes this way, right? Comes back with thumbs up or thumbs down, and I'm like, thumbs down, dodo head. You didn't answer my question. And I actually said that. I'm like, you returned no response, and it says, please answer, please ask me a question or something like that. I'm like, you're really starting to tick me off. Okay, so Rick says no. You prove the book. So the goal of Rick's book, which Misa has just put out a link on Amazon for, is fact I prove where man came from, and the piece of wood from the moon is real, and what killed the dinosaurs. Okay, all right. So if you guys are interested in that kind of subject, check Rick's book out. Misha put the link up here. You can check it out on Amazon. I know that if you just go into Amazon Books and type Rick Spicer, anything with that author will come up. And he proves it with science and legal and provable. Interesting. Interesting. Well, now I'm really curious. I might have to check that out. I've got a book that I'm reading right now, but it's kind of dense. I'm switching off with, I'm still going through my read through again with the Body Keeps the Score. And I have a book called Chicken Hawk, which I'm also reading, which is absolutely fascinating. But I found that I have to read it a few times because it's about the web of how pedophiles and child porn and child killers, how they all like intersect and how these people knew each other in the US and then kind of where their tendrils go, into Europe. But I have to read it several times to like get it cemented in my brain because there are a lot of these pieces I've already heard of, but how then they connect to somebody else and this person actually knew this person and they were actually working with this person and sending it over. It yeah, I think I'm gonna have to start it again. I got about halfway through it and said, all right, this all makes sense, but I need to read through it again. So I've been kind of going back and forth between those two, but I think that I'm gonna spend like a weekend with the chicken hawk and figure that out again because it's absolutely I'd love to come on and talk about it, but there's so much in it that I think I might have to cover the individual topics first and then show you like how everything relates because there's imagine the old boards where you run strings between the connections and stuff. Well, they've basically done that, but just with, computer lines, and it's crazy to follow. Absolutely nuts. Well, glad you stopped by, Aria. Hope you get some rest. I know it's challenging with kiddos, so wish you the best with that. Mine did not sleep through the night until he was 2, 3 a.m., 3 to 3:30, just like I do actually. If I'm going to wake up, it's between 3 and 3:30, guaranteed. And he was the exact same. As soon as he settled from that baby feeding every 2 hours, most kids then at least sleep through the night or, sleep for a good 6 hours or whatever, but he was up at 3. So here's a link to Misha's anthology if you guys are interested, and you can read her chapter that she wrote in that. And that's fabulous. Well, working on not quite an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes here. I need to get finalizing my chapter and get that over because the editors of the publishing company was just checking with me again today. Was like, did you get the edits? Are you turning it back in? And I saw it has September 12th date of final draft due. And I was like, okay, I've got time. It's not even the end of September yet, right? And I think that is like when our second edits are due back. So they want to get these back so they can get it to the second editor, get it to us, and we can move it on again. So, hey LV, how you doing? Not your anthology, just wrote a chapter for. Well, it's your anthology, meaning your chapter is in that anthology. That's what I was meaning. What's going on, ALV? You're getting like, is this your last week of work, ALV? Because a birdie told me I thought that you were retiring at the end of this month. Are you having to pack up your office? What's going on? Anything you're willing to share. I'm intrigued. I don't know if you were still planning on oh, you go at the end of September now. Okay, I thought it was the end of August. All right. So, well, you got holiday weekend coming up though, so you at least get 3 days off. I will probably be working on Monday, unfortunately, um, because I was in court today, so I wasn't working my day job. But the guy took the plea, so I'm happy. There wasn't anything I could do. Wasn't anything I could do. Head back to private practice afterwards. Okay. I didn't think you'd stop working totally. So when you said you were retiring, out of uh, out of your current place, I was like, I don't see you just retiring solely, but heading back to private practice. So it might give you some more leeway. You've still got a number of good years. I don't know what it is about some of the practitioners around here, but we have a slew of people who are in their 70s and 80s and are still practicing. I don't know if it's just because they love it that much. I don't know if it's because they need the income. I don't know if it's because if they don't do it, they don't know what else to do with themselves. But it is just so weird that we have so many of the older generation who are still working around here. I mean, they're gold mines of information. Involuntary retiring. Yeah, what can you do? But yeah, I didn't think you'd be totally idle after that. But hopefully you guys can get away to your wife's place because that sounded like the bomb. You have a court case coming up on October 20th. They're both scheduled at the same time. Are they in different courtrooms? That is so strange. I mean, I don't know if it's a coincidence or what. It'll be virtual. Well, it's still a little ways off, so you do have time to prepare. I know that nothing can ever wholly prepare you for that moment of, attending the trial, but we will definitely be sending you all of our love and hugs and support. You remind us when it gets a little closer to the date, will you? And we'll all be here for you, girl. We'll all be here. Probably for the best that you're not attending in person. Yeah, I I'm so torn on that as to whether I would feel the need to be present for something. I think I would definitely want to be attending, whether it's virtual or not. And I'm really happy that they're allowing you to be there through stream. He said, I did one murder trial in my life. It didn't turn out well for the client. We told him to take the plea because he was guilty of sin. Yeah, that was kind of like, my guy today, he took there was no plea. The prosecutor would not budge. They wouldn't do a sentencing recommendation. They wouldn't drop it down to a fourth. They wouldn't drop it down to, of course, a misdemeanor. They would not budge. And it was very frustrating. And I know it was frustrating for the client as well, but sometimes the facts are the facts and we just don't have a lot of negotiating leverage. And that was unfortunately the case today. So we'll see what the pre-sentence investigation report has to say and move on to sentencing. And I'm hopeful that the outcome of that will at least be favorable. But we'll see. Yeah, that's common, Misha. That's common because you're a witness in the trial. You need to keep everything tight-lipped until after the trial is finished. Um, I know you're working with the DA. Do you have a victim witness unit attached to the DA's office? They're usually the ones who are coordinating the witnesses and stuff, but sometimes they have services that are offered through them. They won't answer your messages. Oh my gosh, well, that must be frustrating. And probably because it's farther in the future, they're like, we got issues that are right in front of us, so we'll worry about that. They've given you the wrong date. We had that in court today, actually. And we had a defense attorney show up who said, we were told to be here today because we didn't get the notice of last time. And the court said, well, I have him scheduled for some date in the future. So everyone's kind of gone. So because I don't have it on my schedule for today, I don't even have the file. So yeah, things do happen. Th- My best advice from working with the courts is you just got to keep at it. Just got to keep at it. Keep calling. Um, keep calling. You can call the court clerk directly if you're looking for dates. I don't know what their online presence is. Sometimes things will be, you know, put on the online in terms of the upcoming cases, so you can get dates from that. Um, but I can only imagine for you how frustrating it must be, and it's going to be a relief when this is over, regardless of it, because you'll be able to not have the re-traumatization. Because I know you're going to have to live through this, again as you go through the trial. So whatever the result of the trial is, hopefully there'll be a somewhat of at least a closure that part is over. Um, Good, bad, or ugly, right? But yeah, you've got everybody here behind you, sending you support and wishing for the best. So, and you know that you've got so many people here also that you can reach out to privately if you need other people to lean on. So please do utilize your support system as much as you need. I know you've got family that you've got, but you've got family here too, right? Chosen family. And so reach out. Oh my gosh. Lisa has a bit of a dope prosecutor after me to be a witness for her trial against a former employee who committed an assault on the way out after being terminated, but you saw none of it happen. Not really sure what you can offer then. That's kind of interesting. You say, yeah, this woman will take me off even though I have nothing to add. It's kind of like my prosecutor today. I can't say exactly what he said, but they, they were not willing to budge. And I can't say this because this is on court record. When we got up for the guilty plea, the court said, prosecutor, can you please put the plea as you know it on the record? And he states the charge. And the judge was like, uh, so there is no plea? Because that's the charge. He's like, yes, our offer is plea as charged. I mean, the guy would not budge. He's kind of known to be a little bit of a dick, but that was the thing. But so even the judge was kind of surprised. could hear it in her voice. She's like, so, but that's what it was. You're right. A good prosecutor should consider the trauma the victim has been through and try to minimize the reliving of it. Unfortunately, and this is where I do think there needs to be more trauma training with judicial staff. I think victim witness units get it. I know it's offered for a lot of prosecutors, um, but I think there needs to be more of it, and there needs to be refresher courses. I don't know if when all of this kind of was coming to a head, in the last 10 years, it's become more so that there are training programs for people in the judiciary, but I don't know how often that they have them go through them again. And, sometimes, depending on the facts of the cases, certain things are needed, but there are ways, of course, of trying to minimize the trauma that your witness is experiencing. Yeah, I honestly don't know the details, obviously, like you do, Misha, of your case, but I do know from the little that you've told me that things are an absolute mess there. And this trial has been a long, long time in the making. You've got a shortage of judges, and interesting. Over the last, I want to say like 18 months, it seems like they are ramping up. Like judges want to clear their dockets as soon as possible. Where you used to have your status conference and then, trial might be set 6 weeks out or whatever. That time frame is shrinking. It's getting ridiculous. And I don't know if they're hoping for more pleas, if they're trying to, force, some more pleas at the final status conference, but it's bizarre out here. At least in my neck of the woods. I can't say, Michigan overall, but at least in our neck of the woods. Um, Yeah, hugs and love to you, Misha. I know that it's just been time after time after time after time with what you're going through, and I'm glad that things are finally moving forward in the courts, because I know for a long time that they weren't. So I'm hoping that once you have your October trial date, that the rest of the trial goes smoothly. So keep us informed. Know that we love you, and we're sending you all the support that we possibly can. Your prosecutor actually read your statement instead of having you testify. That's good. That's really good. Again, I can only speak for the training that I know that is available to like our local prosecutors. And I know in general in the United States, there is training available to be trauma informed in most court situations or for most court staff. Things that the judges can go through, things that the prosecutors can go through. There's always continuing education that even the defense attorneys can go through. But I don't know how universal that is, and I certainly don't know the quality of each of those training sessions, who's putting on those training sessions. Michigan's got a pretty good handle on it, at least here in West Michigan. I know the organization that does the training, and the prosecutors here have yearly, I think, uh, trauma training. So pretty decent here, but I know that that's not universal. All right. Well, we're on an hour and a half, guys. I think that that's it. I'm gonna get over and get my book done and get that for Australia to be on their desk in the morning because I think they're about 15 hours ahead of me or something. So they're just waking up and getting to their desks right now. So I want to get that off before my bed. So hopefully before their noon. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for sharing your troubles. Thanks for sharing your successes with us today. I'm going to do these periodically. I know I don't do them very often, but I do want to check in with everybody, see how you're doing. Not just see how I'm doing, but see how all of you are doing. And this gives you guys an opportunity to build your connections and to or to make your connections and build the community even more because I love seeing that there are connections being made outside of this live because that's what it's about. It's about connecting people to each other. But even if you don't, if you're just listening on replay, sending you all of my love, sending all the good juju that you need. Wish on a star tonight if you guys need to. Um, but please always remember you are worthy, you are valuable, and you are loved just the way you are for who you love, for who you are. Can't even get that out tonight. Hugs and love, guys. Mwah. I will see you on Saturday. I don't have a topic yet. I think I might be doing a trauma talk, but I'll decide that here in the next day. I'll pick my topic here in the next day, but I might be doing another Reddit trauma talk. So we'll see. But again, your challenge is in the comments. I want to know what's your go-to self-care. Is it a pint of Ben and Jerry's? Is it a bubble bath? Is it a walk? Is it journaling? What's your go-to self-care? If you've got a little time to yourself, what makes you feel good? So that's what I want you guys to drop in the comments for me. Again, hit that like button on the way out if you hadn't, subscribe if you haven't, and make sure you hit the bell for all for notifications so that you get notifications of our Wednesday lives at 6 p.m. and our Saturday lives at 3 p.m. That's when we'll be on next. So hugs and love to you all. Mwah. I will talk to you later. Enjoy the outro. Surviving together, never alone.
Through the fire, through the rain, we have walked through endless pain. But we stand, we rise again. Stronger now, we break the chain. Surviving together, hearts open wide, lifting each other through every tide. The past may have shaped us, but it won't define. Together we heal, together we shine. Every tear, every scar tells the story of who we are. Not just survivors, but warriors too. With love as our armor, we see this through. We see you, we hear you, and we believe in you. Surviving together, We see you, we hear